friends. Today we're going to make some Play-Doh. I have my recipe right here. And since I don't have any friends here at school right now and I am socially distanced from my coworkers, I'm going to take off my mask. We're going to follow our recipe. Now parents, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on some skills with your child. We're going to be working on following some directions with the recipe. We're going to be using some measuring devices. And we're going to predict what happens to all of our ingredients when we put them in the crock pot and turn on the heat. So let's get started. First step of our recipe is to add 2 cups of flour. I have some flour right here. And I have a measuring cup. The number on the measuring cup says 1. So I know that 1 and 1 more makes 2. So I'm going to add 2 cups of flour to our pot. 1. I'm going to scrape the edge off the knife just to make it smooth so that I have an accurate measure of my cup. And that is 2. So our first step is done. We have 2 cups of flour. Our next step is to add a 1/2 cup of salt. I have my salt right here, which I can open. And I have a 1/2 cup measure that I need to fill this up. I'm going to hold it over so that I don't make a mess on the table. We're going to fill this all the way to the top so we get our full 1/2 cup measure of salt. I think I have my 1/2 cup measure, and I'm going to pour that into my pot. We're getting there. We've got 2 things done. Next, I have 3 tablespoons of cream of tartar. So I have my cream of tartar, and I have my tablespoon measure, and this is 1 tablespoon. So this tells me I will need 3 tablespoons to add to my recipe. So here's 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of cream of tartar. My next step is to add 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. This is cornstarch, and I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. 1, 2, and 3. All right. The next step is to add 2 cups of warm water. This measuring cup has up to a 1 cup and then up to a 2 cups. So I only need to use 1 2-cup measure of warm water for this part of my recipe. I'm going to fill the water all the way up to the 2-cup line. That's 1 cup. And 2 cups. I will pour this into my crock pot. And I'm down to my very last necessary part of the recipe. There are some options we can add in too, which we'll talk about in a second. And I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. 1, 2. That's the last necessary part to make our Play-Doh, but it's all the things that we added were white. So our Play-Doh will come out white unless we add something special. So I'm going to add red food coloring to this. If I add red food coloring to my white Play-Doh, what color do you think I might get? You're right. We will get red colored Play-Doh. I used all of the red food coloring that was left in that tube. The next thing we need to do after we add all the ingredients to the crock pot is to mix it together very well. While I'm starting to mix the ingredients, the next step will be to turn on the crock pot. The crock pot will be very hot. So far the ingredients look kind of sloppy. Maybe my video could come close and see what it looks like inside. What do you think is going to happen to this mixture once we add heat? I'll keep mixing and then we'll add some heat and then we will come back and show you what happens.